Welcome, everyone. Tonight is Fantasy Football Right Now. I'm alongside with Luke Hammonds and Kyle Gagliardi, and I'm Jacob Zillick. Today we're going to talk about some stardom sit-ems, and we're going to talk about some waiver acquisitions. What do you think is the move this week for stardom sit-em? Who's your start of the week?
You know, Mark Ingram, he had a tough game against Seattle a couple weeks ago. He had a fumble, and he got benched the rest of the game. But he came back strong against San Francisco, ended up getting 156 rushing yards and a touchdown. You know, definitely start him against Denver this week.
Kyle, what do you think about Carlos Hyde this week? He's playing against a tough Arizona defense.
Yeah, it's a very good point you got there, Jacob. The Cardinals' defense is really strong, and Carlos Hyde's coming off that shoulder injury. I would probably sit Carlos Hyde this week, all of you fantasy owners out there, and make sure you pick up Djuan Harris, who is their backup running back. He had a great game last game coming out of the backfield. He was catching a lot of passes, and in some PPR leagues, that's a go-to player right there. So if you have Carlos Hyde and he is projected to start, I'd say the safe bet is just to sit him this week.
So we're already halfway through the season right now. Do you guys have any midseason MVPs for fantasy right now?
You know, I got to go with DeMarco Murray. He has yet to score below 10 points this season. He's just been killer for the Titans. Unfortunately for their team in general, they're not winning. But if you have DeMarco Murray on your fantasy team, you're most likely winning. So right now, he's my fantasy MVP.
What about you, Kyle?
You know, DeMarco Murray is a very good pick, but there's another running back out there. And speaking of the Cardinals, David Johnson has been a fantasy monster this week. Actually, this week in most ESPN leagues, he's projected to score over 25 points, which is insane for a running back in fantasy football. So David Johnson's basically he can do everything in the backfield. And for the Cardinals, unfortunately, they haven't picked up as many wins. But I think with David Johnson in the backfield, they'll catch more wins. And if you have him on your fantasy team, you're pretty happy right now.
That's great to hear. I actually have David Johnson on my team myself, so I'll be starting him for sure. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. This is Fantasy Football Now, and I'm Jacob Zillick. Have a great night.